Hey, thanks for making it to Veterans Info Tap. I'm glad you made it. We have some breaking news regarding the settlement and payout to hundreds of thousands of veterans. And I wanted to talk to you about it, bring it to your awareness so that way you're aware. Go figure. In any case, please hit the thumbs up, subscribe, share with a friend, all that good stuff. I truly appreciate it. Every minute watched helps put this into the hands of those that need it. All right, so let's jump into it here. The $6 billion settlement for hearing damage, tinnitus, hearing loss, those types of things is moving forward. There are 250,000 veterans that have agreed to the $6 billion settlement with 3M regarding the earplugs or faulty earplugs. Now, this just came out March 26th of 2024, and I wanted to share it with you here today. So please, again, hit that thumbs up and subscribe if you have not. I truly appreciate it. Let's jump into it here. A $6 billion settlement involving roughly 250,000 veterans will move forward in a lawsuit that argued faulty earplugs were sold to the military for use during the Iraq and Afghanistan wars. For the settlement, 98% of service members and veterans with claims had to agree to it. 3M, the Minnesota-based company that made the earplugs, through a subsidiary by the way, announced Tuesday that 99% of claimants are on board. So what does that mean? That means that the threshold has been met with veterans and military members that have agreed to whatever the settlement looks like for them. On the low end, you're probably looking at about, $10,000 after taxes and attorney splits and all that stuff, maybe $6,000, $5,000 or $6,000, depending on kind of where you fall as a minimum. Now, again, the threshold was set at 98% had to agree in order for the agreed settlement to move forward. And again, they have mentioned or announced that 99% of claimants are on board. Now, moving forward, 3M denies the liability but has agreed to the settlement, which will resolve all earplug-related claims in the federal multidistrict litigation and in Minnesota State Court, according to the company. The case was one of the largest mass tort cases in U.S. history. From 1999 to 2015, 3M and its subsidiary companies produced and sold the combat arms earplugs. Now, this is which the lawsuits have said slipped from the wearer's ears, resulting in hearing loss and tinnitus, or a ringing of the ears. Out of roughly 293,000 claims, more than 249,000 claimants have registered to participate in the settlement, and more than 41,000 claims were dismissed, according to 3M. Final participation is expected to be around that 99.9% percentile. So looks like everybody is pretty much on board for a whole host of reasons, right? One, it's already done. Two is if you decided to try to move forward on your own or outside of this settlement, it could be very time consuming. So moving on, there's a quotation here. We are pleased that this settlement has received widespread acceptance from the service members who experienced hearing damage from 3M's defective earplugs, said Bryan Aylstock, court-appointed lead counsel for the plaintiffs. This result also rebukes the false premise that only contrived bankruptcies can provide defendants the finality they seek when their products injure people on a mass scale. As shown by the overwhelming positive response to this settlement program, a fair resolution through the civil justice system can provide both swift relief to victims and also give corporate defendants global peace. Prior to the settlement, some cases went to trial in federal court with mixed results. In most trials, the jury sided with the veterans with payouts between $880,000 to more than $50 million. Those were huge settlements. Under the agreement, 3M will pay the nearly 250,000 veterans up to $6 billion between 2023 and 2029, the company said. 3M and Arrow, its subsidiary responsible for the earplugs, have said each are working with the insurance companies to offset a portion of the payments. However, the process is involved in a lawsuit filed in Delaware and arbitration proceedings. Payouts will vary because each case is evaluated on a person's medical records according to a website dedicated to the settlement, which is being managed by the litigation management company Brown Greer. That website is combatarmssettlement.com. combatarmssettlement.com. If it were divided equally, payouts would be $24,000 per veteran. And it looks like that's where it ends it, which is kind of a weird spot. So I'm just scrolling through to double check. I don't really see anything else on that. So here's the deal. As far as the payouts are concerned, they are not going to be divided out equally. They're going to be different buckets, tiers, whatever you want to call it, in which veterans will qualify depending on their circumstances. And if you pick the lower threshold items, you can get your payout quicker and provide less documentation. So it's kind of hard to say where it's going to fall. But it will be a sliding scale, absolutely. And my anticipation is that the minimum kind of range will be somewhere between the $5,000 to $10,000 payout for the very, very minimum tier, and then move upward from there. And I would say that probably 50%, I'm guessing, or more, will fall in that minimum tier. And that's probably somebody who has tinnitus. No real documented hearing loss per se, but some tinnitus, some ringing in the ears, and that's really the only thing that can be documented and provided as evidence. So I would say that that's going to be your lower tier, and then working on up to massive hearing loss and major tinnitus issues. So I guess we will see what happens as this moves on. So anybody who is in this mass tort litigation, multi-district litigation, you can now know that it is moving forward as planned. There is some delays, it sounds like, with the insurance companies on 3M's side. Maybe it's some sort of errors in omission type of insurance that they have, that they're working through to offset some of the costs that they're going to have to pay out. But in any case, we'll keep our eyes open on this 3M litigation and payout and settlement and all that good stuff, and keep you abreast of what's going on. So in the meantime, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you. Have a great one. And remember, if we don't take care of each other, something went wrong.